12 from Jordan Miller, 21 and 12 from Amita Zubac, 17 for Norman Powell. Kevin Porter Jr. starting for James Harden finishes with 19. Well, the Clippers had won 9 in a row here at home. They dropped 2 straight. They'll have 4 days off before they see Denver on a Friday at Ball Arena. Well, for Carlo Jimenez, Joey Kimball, Big Brother Jake Warner, Adam Oslin, and Katie Newton, we'll be back in a moment. Your final score here in Houston, here for the Clippers against Houston, 117-106. The second seed in the West gets it done against the Clippers. We'll be back for more on the Clippers Audio Network. Man.
At least the broadcast was good because the Chargers lost last second on a field goal.
Are you serious?
Yep. So painful.
Oh, my God.
Man, that's killer.
Clippers couldn't get it done.
I mean, you knew it was going to be tough, but the way they lost.
Yeah.
It's painful, bro.
They hit 15 threes.
Adam, can we make the first segment short? I got to run to this thing.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Tough on Clipper Nation.
Here we go.
To me, guys, it was the 3-point shots. Houston hit 15 of them. They shot almost 37% from 3. They're a 33% three-point shooting team, and once again, they shoot well above that against the Clippers. It's not all about size in the NBA. What are you talking about, Timothy? Katie, you okay?
Bro. Brutal, big bro. Brutal. That sucks because now you have to play 4 games, or you have 4 days off.
Yeah. It's all right.
Considering they're missing 40 points.
Yep.
That's not size. That's activity, Timothy. Athleticism.
To be able to hold it that close against them, I'm not mad at it.
It's not just about having bigs. Why do you think Boston's so good? It's not because they're bigs. But it's not their average, I mean.
3 minutes, but then you want to grab one really quick right now? Yeah, let's do it.
Clippers fall here at Intuit Dome by a final score of 117-106 to the Houston Rockets. Welcome into your post-game show. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up, we got second half highlights for you, plus your post-game box score as the Clippers lose their last 2 after having 3 days off, and a lot of guys out for this one, including James Harden. Carlo, I felt like they were able to fight. They battled out there. The problem was the Clippers just didn't have enough of their talent to overcome the deficit in that respect between them and the Houston Rockets tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the Clippers were missing James Harden. They were out without Amir Coffey. Obviously, Terrence Mann has a shoulder injury, but then you lose Derrick Jones Jr. And the game, Adam, was so much guard talent. that Houston has. I mean, with the way they're able to move the basketball, attack the rim, Derrick Jones Jr. could have been huge in this game for the Clippers to try to slow down that Houston attack, and the Clippers just couldn't get it done. It's a good game to watch a lot of film on. The Clippers did something or lost the rebounding battle, something that almost never happens this season, unless, of course, they're playing the Houston Rockets. It has happened a couple of times against this Houston team. Overall, though, impressed with the performance when you think about who the Clippers were out missing in this contest and the fight. I mean, you talked about it, but the Clippers never gave up. They fought to the final minute of the ball game, and every single time Houston made a run, the Clippers were able to not allow the game to get out of hand. I mean, this very easily could have turned into Minnesota. The Clippers did not let that happen. I think this just shows that the identity of this team is that they're going to fight every second they're on the floor. That's going to win them a lot of games when they're at full strength.
Yeah, their identity was intact tonight. They may have ran out of able bodies. They did not run out of fight in this ball game. And Bones Highland, I think, just had his best game since the 39-point game last season. He played really well in his 28 minutes, had 22 points. Once again, second straight game, 5 of 10 from the outside. Was more catch and shoot, Bones, playing off ball tonight. I thought he gave them a real plus coming off the bench.
He really did. I mean, season high 22 points, back-to-back games with season highs, and similar to James Harden, just able to create when the Clippers didn't seem like they had a chance to create anything on the offensive end, get to his spot, attack downhill. A couple of pretty finds to Big Zoo underneath. Bones Highland continues to play well, and it adds more to this Clipper lineup. They have that scoring off the bench. I thought him and Jordan Miller in the first half were excellent. Highland kept it going in the second half with his offense. It was great to see Bones get opportunities. I thought Adam too, he held his end defensively. I mean, really, it didn't feel like Houston had tried to attack him a couple of times, and he was able to stand tall every single time. If Bones can keep playing this way, he's going to keep playing for this Clipper team.
Clippers fall 117-106 here at Intuit Dome to the Houston Rockets. Clippers next game coming up not till Friday. They will be in Denver taking on the Nuggets. This is a makeup game as they're not in the knockout round of the in-season tournament. First of 2 games now on the schedule starting Friday in Denver versus the Denver Nuggets. And we will have tip-off for you at 6, pregame show starting at 5. Carlo Jimenez, great call as always. Safe traveling to Denver, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Adam, I can't wait to talk to you on Friday. It feels like forever, but I'll be excited for it. Let's go!
How will we get by for 4 days without one another? Clippers post-game coming up next. They lose here at Intuit Dome by a final score of 117-106 to the Houston Rockets. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Thanks, Katie. Talk to you Friday.
Guys, Trenton Flowers is not going to play over Kai Jones, who plays center. Bones was really good. We'll get to your box score coming up next. We will have Clippers talk. If you guys want to get on early, 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570 is the phone number. It was a frustrating loss, guys. It really was, because I really like the Clippers fight in this ball game. I do not fault the fight by this team whatsoever. Denver already bounced back, Christian. They just smoked Atlanta in Atlanta tonight. You're a little behind. They won by like 30. Good stuff. Good stuff. Guys, they had Derrick Jones Jr. and Terrence Mann and Amir Coffey out. Complaining about 4-guard lineups on a night where those 3 guys are out ain't it. And I ain't here for it. I don't know what you expected out there with all the guys being out. Derrick Jones went out after the first quarter. Amir Coffey couldn't make it through pregame warmups. They already were without Terrence Mann. What did you think was going to happen? Yeah, but Atlanta had just won 6 in a row, my guy. They were playing great. They just beat Cleveland twice. Christian deserves a timeout. Clippers lose 117 to 106 here at Intuit Dome to the Houston Rockets. Tough on Clipper Nation. Good to be with you, though, here in your post-game show. I'm Adam Osland. If you want to get on early, 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Final box score, Clippers shoot 44.6% from the field. The Houston Rockets 48.8% from the floor. One of the biggest differentiators in this game was, first of all, the Houston Rockets kept the Clippers in it with 15 turnovers. The Clippers turned that into 20 points. The Clippers only had 8 turnovers, guys. In a game without James Harden, they took care of the basketball. There were different lineups out there. I commend the guys on the effort and the focus. Those 8 turnovers by the Clippers turned into just 6 points. But the Clippers did get out rebounded 50 to 33. Some of that is because, well, they missed more shots than the Houston Rockets. Some of that is because Houston had 12 offensive rebounds compared to the Clippers just having 7. And some of those second chance opportunities were backbreakers. The Houston Rockets in second chance points, 21. The Clippers with 6. That hurt. Clippers did beat them up in paint points, scoring 60 to Houston's 42. But the Rockets, once again, third straight game, shot well above their season average from the outside and hit some really tough shots that were very well contested. Like the dagger of the ball game, it's an 8-point game, and Jalen Green hits a 3 on the right wing over Bones Highland, who had a hand in his face. It was well contested. Didn't matter. And they shot just about 37% from 3 on high volume. They went 15 of 41 from the outside. The Clippers just 11 of 34 from 3. Also, the free throw line and that differential. The Rockets ended up taking 10 more free throws than the Clippers in a game where they didn't attempt a free throw in the first quarter of this one. Doesn't matter. They would end up 22 of 26 at the free throw line. Clippers 13 of 16. Leading your Los Angeles Clippers with 22 points off the bench. Skeleton Key Army stand up. Bones Highland had 22, 7 of 13 shooting, 5 of 10 from distance. Jordan Miller with 12 off the bench, 10 of which came in the first half. Kevin Porter Jr. with the starters in place of James Harden out with that right groin strain. He had 19 points on 8 of 18 shooting, plus 6 assists, just 1 turnover. I thought he played well overall. Ivica Zubac had 21 and 12 for the Clippers. At times, I wanted him to be featured a little bit more. But the guy who really struggled that had to have a big game, once again didn't against Houston. The Rockets have done a great job slowing down Norman Powell. All 3 games have been subpar for Storm and Norman. He had just 17 points on 18 shots and went 1 of 8 from 3. Clippers lose 117 to 106 to Jalen Green, who had 31 in the Houston Rockets here at Intuit Dome. Coming up next, more second half talk after this one. Clippers dropped to 14 and 11 on the season. I'm Adam Osland, live from Intuit Dome, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Guys, if you think Trent Flowers is it, I like Trent Flowers, guys. He's 19. He's not playing center. They didn't lose the game because of Kai Jones. Ross. Oh, they were too small? Well, maybe if they had James Harden, Terrence Mann, Amir Coffey, or Derrick Jones Jr. after the first quarter, they wouldn't have been as small. Anyone criticizing the Clippers for being too small in this ball game is getting a timeout. I don't think you guys know what happened. Honestly, they didn't have Amir. They didn't have Derrick Jones Jr. They don't have Terrence Mann. What do you want? Bones was one of their best players in the game. Then Chris Dunn got into foul trouble. I mean, come on. Guys, you have to understand what the actual flaws were in this game. Them going too small because they don't have any options. Those small guys were the ones who were good on offense too. So how do you take them out? You take out Bones Highland? Really? How are they going to create shots? This was a really good effort by the Clippers. It sucks they lost. It ends up in a loss no matter what, but nothing to hang your head about. Clippers fall 117-106 to the Houston Rockets here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we got Clippers talk for you. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 as the Clippers drop 2 in a row here at Intuit Dome. A banged up, undermanned Clippers team that was shorthanded heading into the ball game. Without James Harden, without Mo Bamba, they did get KPJ back. They did get Norman Powell back. But, of course, no Terrence Mann, no Kawhi Leonard on top of it. And then pregame, Amir Coffey goes out with a shoulder injury during pregame warmups. And then after the first quarter, it's Derrick Jones Jr. who leaves the ball game. So I got people here in the chat in the Adams family talking about we went too small. They lost a ton of wings in this game. If you're going to criticize Coach Lou for going too small and playing guys like Bones Highland, who led them with 22 points, I don't know what to tell you tonight. But we'll talk about it all on Clippers Talk coming up next. Clippers' next ball game, not till Friday in Denver. They're taking on the Nuggets for the third time this season. Tip-off is at 6. Pre-game show starts at 5 outside of Los Angeles. We are leaving you until then. But coming up next, we got Clippers Talk on AM 570 LA Sports. No, Chris. I understand what you were saying. Clippers' mistakes were too small. We did enough as we could. They didn't make that many, but the ones they did make were exploited immediately by Houston. The end of the second quarter, a 15-6 run, the last 3 minutes and 28 seconds in that second quarter. A 12-2 run, the last 2 minutes and 9 seconds in that second quarter. Changed the game. Gotcha. Guys, Trenton Flowers is 19 and has played 8 minutes in the NBA so far. If you think that was going to be the difference in this game, who's he playing over? Bones, who had 22? Y'all just being illogical. Hey, Thomas, you said they were going to be sluggish out there. They didn't look sluggish. They were down 2 after the first quarter. They came out and played well. We going to talk about that, or are you just going to avoid that now? Gonza Talk said we got killed on the offensive glass. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the league, the Houston Rockets, guys. This is what they do. And the Clippers are missing a whole lot of guys. It's not the end of the world, please. Look what I got to deal with, Mike. I got a meltdown because the Clippers were missing half their team. Get out of here. The free throw advantage for Houston was huge. The three-point advantage for Houston was huge. They did a great job on the fly. Yeah, they missed Derrick Jones Jr. He was out after the first stint. Clipper Nation, we have a problem. Half the team's injured. Clippers lose to the Houston Rockets 117 to 106 here at Intuit Dome after they were already missing James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Mo Bamba, Terrence Mann heading into the game. And then during the pregame warm-ups, Amir Coffey went out with a shoulder injury. And then after the first quarter, Derrick Jones Jr. was out. And the Clippers still fought and still battled. They did not run out of fight. They ran out of bodies, and they lost 117 to 106 to a very good Houston Rockets team. That's the top 3 team in the Western Conference. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome into Clippers Talk. Tough one, Clipper Nation. I understand you never like to lose, but this Clippers team battled tonight and scrapped and gave everything they had. But the talent disadvantage was too much to overcome. And when you consider the circumstances and the Houston Rockets once again going off from distance against the Clippers, which has been a theme in all 3 games, even though the Houston Rockets, not a good three-point shooting team. They shoot 33% from 3. Tonight, 15 of 41, that's 37% from 3 on high volume. And it was better than that at the half. They were about at 50% from 3. Went 1 of 6 from 3 in the third quarter, but then hit some really timely big three-pointers down the stretch, including a dagger by Jalen Green over the outstretched arm of Bones Highland, who played great for the Clippers. He had 22 points off the bench. Skeleton Key Army represent. Bones Highland in 27 minutes, make it 28, was 7 of 13 from the field and 5 of 10 from the outside, and led the Clippers with 22 points. We knew it would be tough without James Harden. Felt like Kevin Porter Jr. It was up and down at times. Overall, played decently. Had 19 points against his former team, 6 assists to just 1 turnover. But you can say the game changed at the end of the second quarter, where the Clippers were within 3. They were right there. They had a chance to be easily within single digits heading into the half. And at the 3:28 mark, Bones Highland hit a three-pointer. It's 49 to 46 Houston. Rockets call a timeout. After that, Amin Thompson gets a layup after he went for his season high. More on that in a little bit. It turned out to be an and one as Chris Dunn got into foul trouble and fouled on that particular possession. Then there's a Clippers turnover by Norman Powell. Şengün gets called for 3 seconds in the key. Norman Powell heads to the line. He makes that. It's 52-47. Then Norman Powell gets fouled on a three-pointer. It is 52 to 50 after he hits all 3. I think that was tribute to James Harden not being out there, who typically is the guy that gets fouled on a three-pointer. Jalen Green goes to the line. He makes 2. Clippers are down by 4. So now what happens? Kevin Porter Jr. misses a midi. Jalen Green hits a 3. Norman Powell misses a 3 on the other end. Jalen Green gets a run out, gets an easy layup. It's 59-50. Clippers are down by 9 now. Then Ivica Zubac couldn't get multiple tip-ins to go after Kevin Porter Jr. missed another mid-range shot. Dylan Brooks 3. Clippers are down 12, 62 to 50. And they would be down 12 at the half. Eventually it got to 64-52 when it was a 3-point game at the 3:28 mark of the second quarter. 15-6 run from then on. If you want to go from the 2:09 mark of the second quarter, it was a 12-2 run. You're right there. You're in the game. That might have been the first blow to this Clippers team, really. In the fourth quarter, it's an 8-point game. Down the stretch, the Clippers continued to fight. Bones Highland was cooking. Got Shepard off the dribble for a three-pointer. Said he was too small. But I think the most consequential shot in the ball game was that 3 at the 2:02 mark by Jalen Green. As the shot clock was running down, it was 111 to 103. It's an 8-point game. The Clippers are still in it. And Jalen Green got a long three-pointer on the right wing over the arm of Bones Highland. Really well defended. Did not matter. And then Jabari Smith Jr., for good measure, hit another three-pointer. And I don't know what it is, but the Houston Rockets love playing the Clippers and hitting threes on them. They're a good team. They're not good with the three ball. All 3 games against the Clippers, they have shot about 38, 39% combined in 3 games against the Clippers from 3. When on the season, Houston is a 33% three-point shooting team. Is it just terrible defense by the Clippers? No, I just told you about the one that Jalen Green hit, who got really hot in the first quarter too. I think at 11 points and hit some tough shots. Whenever Dunn was out of the ball game, Jalen Green was cooking. It was unfortunate to me. I felt like at times the Clippers could have utilized 2 guys a little bit more on the offensive end. Ivica Zubac, who did finish with 21 and 12 in 37 minutes, and actually Jordan Miller. When he came back in the second half, I don't think he got a shot off the first 5 minutes he was out there. That was a little bit frustrating to me. But give Houston credit. Whenever the Clippers were closing in or making a run or had it to within striking distance, they would hit a big shot. Amin Thompson had 22, his season high. He got the start as they were missing Fred VanVleet, I believe. He was the one in the starting lineup. And he hit a lot of run silencing shots in the third quarter, mid-range shots. He also hit a 3 on the Clippers in this game. Do you know what Thompson shoots from 3 on the season? 29%. Even he hit a 3 on the Clippers. It's frustrating when there's outlier shooting that goes against you. Jalen Green, not a good 3-point shooter. Shooting about 30%, 5 of 13. He had a crazy explosive dunk in the second half, a crazy reverse layup that was Michael Jordan-esque. He's a very good player. I think his season high is 41. He had 31 against the Clippers. But his shooting from the outside early and then late with the dagger proved too difficult for the Clippers to overcome. They fall by a final score of 117 to 106 to the Houston Rockets. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll pull some quotes from the head coach and the players and get you an update on the glut of players who got injured over the last couple of days or in this ball game by the Clippers. We'll tell you the severity of those injuries. Coming up next here on Clippers Talk, I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to AM 570 LA Sports. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, Dylan Brooks is having a really good year, guys. He's been their best, most consistent 3-point shooter. Man, they didn't have Tari Eason tonight or Fred VanVleet. Tari Eason's been shooting well from 3, I believe, too, but yeah, painful. Dylan Brooks went 4 of 8 from 3. He hit a really big one in the fourth quarter, too. When it was an 8-point game, I believe. Sounds good to me. We can even get out 9:20. Let's do it. Himothy says KPJ had more shots than Zoo. He was shot hunting a lot. I don't think he had a bad game, though, overall. I know his plus minus will say he did. He was on the court when that 15-6 run happened at the end of the first half, so that will change your plus minus pretty quickly. Chris Dunn, guys, the start of the third quarter, the steals he was getting, the deflections, incredible the way Chris Dunn was playing to start that third quarter. He was everywhere. KPJ was solid, but it was still up and down. I still would have liked to seen Miller get a few more shots, Ivica Zubac get a few more shots. There will be rest for the weary, as the Clippers have next 4 days off until they are in Denver to take on the Nuggets after losing tonight 117 to 106 to the Houston Rockets, as the Clippers were more shorthanded than Jamie Lannister. We knew coming into the game, no Terrence Mann, no Kawhi Leonard, no James Harden, no Mo Bamba. Then pregame Amir Coffey goes out. Then Derek Jones Jr. goes out after the first quarter. And I commend the Clippers on the effort they put out there. They did not run out of fight. Maybe able bodies, but they did not run out of fight against the Houston Rockets. Welcome back in. This is Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Osland. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. On a night where Bones Highland, Busy Bones, had 22. This was his best game, guys, since last season, the very end of last season when he had that 39-point game. This is the best Bones Highland has looked. Not just because he was getting shots to fall. I thought he played within himself. He was playing off ball a lot. He got others going. He only had 1 turnover to 4 assists. He had some really nice assists. The fourth quarter found Ivica Zubac for a big dunk. I don't know if Ivica Zubac got involved enough. I see this from Joey Lynn post-game. Ivica Zubac said the Clippers felt James Harden's absence in every possible way tonight, mentioning his scoring, playmaking, rebounding, and leadership. Zubac said he's our leader on the court. I've been telling you guys before the season started, this is James Harden's team right now. We'll bring you more post-game quotes as we find them. Chat, the Adams family. Yeah, Chris Dunn has had issues with the 3-ball the last 2 weeks now. After starting off the season, he was shooting about 45% from 3. It has dipped tremendously since then, Ross. I want to say he's 13 for his last 50, somewhere in that range from the outside. He hit the first shot of the game. It was a 3-pointer. I thought, okay, can this give him some confidence? And he had a couple of nice floaters after that, but he ended up 1 of 5 from 3. And Coach Lou, he picked up his 5th foul in the second half. And Coach Lou eventually, he just tried to juice up the offense, bring in more guys who could do more on the offensive end because they were down double digits. So I think that's why Chris Dunn stayed out once he got his 5th foul in the game. Makes sense. Zubac's got 15 shots up, 9 of 15. Missed a couple of easy ones. I wouldn't say it was a great game for him, but he was still good. He had a tremendous block on Jabari Smith Jr. after a Houston Rockets offensive rebound. They had a few of those. Those second chance points were problematic for the Clippers. Again, the Houston Rockets in this game, where they would win 117 to 106, they had 12 offensive rebounds to the Clippers 7. Now, they are the best team on the glass on the season when it comes to rebounding percentage and offensive rebounding percentage. This is what they do. So when I hear people be like, how did we get beat up on the boards like this? They're the best. This is what they do. They had 21 second chance points. They really converted those, 8 of 13 in second chance points. Clippers only had 6 on 3 of 9 shooting on their second chance points, with their 7 offensive rebounds compared to Houston having 12. Chris G said, hopefully that's something moving forward, seeing Batum's defense on Şengün. Batum's defense is, it's not something I really ever worry about. Şengün was completely kept in check. He had nothing tonight. 4 of 9, 11 points. He was almost invisible out there. It looked like he was getting a little bit flustered early on by the defense the Clippers were playing on him, and he kind of got out of his game. Plus Jalen Green was going. Ben Thompson was going. The Clippers bench scoring much better in this game. They ended up with, what is bench scoring now, the box score? Come on now. 38 points off the bench compared to 21 for the Houston Rockets. Courtesy of Jordan Miller with 12, Bones Highland with 22. Even Kai Jones got into the act when he was in there. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Los Angeles Clippers Radio Network and AM 570 LA Sports. Ross brings up a really good point. He said, Bones looked good on both sides of the ball, the most engaged on defense I've seen him this year. Yeah. I'm telling you, when Bones gets real minutes and not just throwaway, inconsequential garbage time minutes, he typically gives you a much better effort. Quentin Cornett said Zubach, which he spelled Zubach, like he's a composer, looked gassed and had way too many turnovers. Talk about that. All right, let's talk about it. He had so many turnovers. Oh, wait, he had 0 turnovers tonight. Why do you want me to talk about that, Quentin Cornett, who's getting in the chat and saying, Adam, why won't you read my comment? Stay in timeout. He had 0 turnovers. 0. If you guys want to zoo hate on a night like this where Ivica Zubac's had 0 turnovers, I'm not here for it. The Clippers only had 8 as a team. What are you talking about? Zoo had a good game. I don't think it was a great game. I think it could have been. They got him involved a little bit more. Or stretches where I think they should have force-fed it to Ivica Zubac because Houston was actually playing him one-on-one tonight. And when Şengün was on him or Steven Adams was on him, even Jabari Smith Jr. at times, that was barbecue chicken. Zubac was eating. I know Quentin Cornett won't like being put in timeout for being completely wrong about that, but we're a fact-driven show, and he had 0 turnovers. Rock said, like the game from Zoo, but it did feel like we were stuck in that 10-point range. We were overwhelmed. But they weren't until the end of that second quarter, which was my point. They were right there. End of the second quarter, that 15-6 run, the last 3.5 minutes, I think that proved to be an early fatal flaw, maybe. Amin said, we did a good job of taking care of the basketball, which is what I like. Cam said, still right in the middle of a tough Western Conference. Can't ask for more considering the circumstances. Of course, 14-11, but they go to Denver on Friday. The 2 games they got scheduled after the play-in tournament, which they didn't make it into the knockout round with, are in Denver on Friday, and then Monday at home against Utah. So one on paper really difficult game against a team they've beaten twice, but it's going to be tough to beat them 3 times. And then an easier contest against the Utah Jazz, as I see Norman Powell come out to greet some fans, which is pretty cool. Norm struggled tonight, man. If their Clippers were going to be able to win this game, they needed Norm to erupt at some point, and they just shut off the water with him again. Third game against Houston, they did a really good job against Norman Powell. The defense was tilted his way. A lot of attention going towards Norm. That's part of why Ivica Zubac was getting one-on-one coverage. That's why they probably should have gone to him more. But Norm Powell, 5 of 18, 17 points, 1 of 8 from 3. Some of that is just poor shooting luck going against them. But most of those threes were really well contested. Houston's great when it comes to perimeter defense. Amin said we did a good job taking care of the basketball. That's what I like. Daniel said Zoo is a top 3 post game right now. Clips need to use him more. Absent said Norm was shooting 51, 51, 84 coming into this game. He was due for a stinker, and Houston guards him well. Yeah, I don't think it was just he was due. I think it's more of a credit to the Houston Rockets and just how good they are on that end, honestly. Mark Jag said the end of the second quarter was when KPJ tried to go one-on-one versus Green. He took a couple of shots I didn't like there, but overall, I think he was okay. It was an up-and-down game. It's what it always is with KPJ. He had a spinning layup in the second half on the right block. That was tough. He had some really good shots. He took Dylan Brooks off the dribble. He was dancing on him, a little hezzy move. The Jazz lost by 44 today, says Mark Jack, who the Clippers will get at home a week from tomorrow. Mark Jack also said the end of the second quarter was when KPJ tried to go one-on-one with Green. I just read that. Adam, way to go. You deserve a timeout yourself. Here we go, 5 seconds. You know what? Here's a way to give myself a timeout. Ray in Pomona, you're on Clippers Talk with Ray is gone. Sorry. Mike in LA, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Oslin. Mike, you got 30 seconds here. Mike, what's up? Yeah. I agree with you, Mike. I appreciate the phone call, my friend. It's tough to overcome that many injuries, and that's why I give the Clippers a lot of credit. They were there. They were in the game. They didn't quit because of it. They didn't let go of the rope because of it. They kept playing through it, and different guys stepped up. And we're not even talking about injuries we knew going into the game, injuries that happened during the game. That just compounds things and makes it even tougher. Let me see if we have some post game audio for you. But first, Ray in Silver Lake. Ray, what's up here on Clippers Talk? Alan in Silver Lake. Sorry, Alan. Alan, you want to know why I think I completely agree with you, Alan. I was seeing the exact same thing with him out there in that first half and the 10 points he had and the 7 he had in the second quarter. But when he came back in the third quarter, they didn't go to him. He wasn't touching the basketball at all. I don't know if that's on his teammates or if he wasn't being assertive enough, but I completely agree with you. Maybe. I'll tell you, the one shot he did miss in the first half that was the most impressive take of the season from Jordan Miller. He got bodied by Jabari Smith Jr. and he rejected him. Jordan Miller got the basketball back and went at him again and got a lefty layup to go off the glass. That was incredible from Jordan Miller. No, it's not. It's an indication that it's the last home game before Christmas, and it's a Clippers Clipsmas Clippers themed Christmas bobblehead for Kawhi. So they have to get it out then because it's Christmas themed. So it's not an indication that Kawhi's coming back on the 16th, guys, just because his bobblehead is coming out then. It's Christmas themed. It's the last home game they have before Christmas. Does that answer your question, Alan? Yeah, I've debunked it a few times. Appreciate the phone call, though, Alan. Some great points about Jordan Miller. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Really like this game from Jordan Miller. And what Alan said there, I was feeling. I thought he was going to go for 20 tonight when he started to get it going in that second quarter. And then you hear Derek Jones Jr. is out. I thought this is it. He's going to get 20 shots up. He's going to get 20-plus points. I really thought this was going to be Jordan Miller's night. Now, Bones Highland had a very good night. And I'm not saying the team was freezing him out or anything like that, but when he came back in the third quarter, he just kind of blended in or floated out there. He wasn't getting the basketball at all. And I felt like with the Clippers offense struggling at times, Jordan Miller needed to be featured a little bit more. I know that's crazy to say, but they just didn't have enough guys that could create for themselves like Jordan Miller can. So, yes, I did mention Mo Bamba was out, Mark Jag. I've mentioned it all night. It's been talked about. Kai Jones got minutes because of that. And I thought Kai Jones was okay tonight. I did. He had a couple of buckets. He was a -2 in his 11 minutes. I don't think he was the reason the Clippers lost this game. The reason they lost this game, when everybody wants to just overreact and point the finger, bothers me because it's so easy to do that. And it's just a simplistic way to analyze a game. And when you could, if you wanted to oversimplify things, you could just say, well, the Clippers were missing like 5 rotation guys, starters, their best player, James Harden. If you want to oversimplify it, just say that. They had a talent disadvantage, a huge one. So it was going to be an uphill battle. It was, but they fought, but they lost late, 117-106. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back live from Into a Dome. I'm Adam Osland. After the Clippers dropped to 14-11 on the season, we'll update you on the standings. We'll hear from Coach Lou coming up next, right here on AM 570 LA Sports. It's Clippers Talk. How the Rockets, I think like they're 10 minutes. Mark, the Rockets didn't do, how did they stop him? They didn't stop him. You think they were more of aware of him this game? Jordan Miller had 12 points on 5 of 12 shooting. He hit 2 threes. I just think you need to get more shots up. Honestly, go to Jordan Miller more. Got you. He did get caught backdoor as soon as he came into the ball game on a backdoor cut from Tate. He got called for that offensive foul that was reviewed. First, he missed a layup going to his left, but then he hit a three-pointer to end the first quarter, Jordan Miller. Then second quarter, he was blocked by Jabari Smith and went right back at him and got it to go. Then a three-pointer. Then a kick out to Bones out of a timeout for 3 by Jordan Miller. A really good pass. Then done to Miller for a 3 who missed, but Miller didn't have a floater going left. That was second quarter. Yeah, like, I don't think the Clippers did a good enough job spreading the rock around at times. I don't think it was awful. Looking for some Coach Lou and post-game audio here, guys. Wondered if he talked yet. Final score, Houston Rockets 117, your Los Angeles Clippers 106 here at Intuit Dome. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. At Follow Adam A is where you can find me on X. We're on the YouTube live side at Clippers Talk. Clippers lose by 11. Had it to within 8. Things were interesting, and they were making a push. But Jalen Green, I think, hit the eventual kill shot. The nail in the coffin bucket. That was a three-pointer to put them back up by 11. Clippers lose by 11. But they battled. Ivica Zubac started getting more involved where from the, 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter to the 3:47 mark, Ivica Zubac had 6 straight points for the Clippers. In between there, Dylan Brooks hit a really big three-pointer when it was a 10-point lead, 108-98. Clippers kept coming, though. They kept battling. They kept coming. They kept fighting. And that's all you can ask. Just play hard, no matter who's available. And there were a lot of guys who were unavailable, unfortunately. Let's check out what the chat is saying. Alfie says, the confidence Miller shoots the 3 with is what we want T-Man to do. Not that whole pump fake. Jordan Miller is certainly confident. Christian said, this kind of game that I was waiting for all season. This is that kind of game. Bones played, Miller played, Kai Jones played versus a great Rockets team. I don't know if it's what I was waiting for, a bunch of guys to be injured so all those guys could play. It's not exactly what I was waiting for. Chris G said, let's see. Quentin Cornett said, I watched him very carefully the entire game. I'm not hating on him. I'm a Clippers fan. Quentin said earlier that Ivica Zubac had a bunch of turnovers. Turns out, Ivica Zubac had 0 turnovers. That's why you can't trust people's eye tests. Rock said, think Miller played within the pecking order, and that's why he only finished with 12 shots, considering the injuries forced us to play more shot makers in Kevin Porter Jr., Bones Highland, Powell, Miller, then Adzu. I agree he did, but the problem was like they needed someone that could create for themselves, and Jordan Miller can do that. What he has in his game is what they were deficient of. So that's why I was a little bit surprised out of a timeout. They eventually did make a concerted effort to get him the basketball. I think when they realized, he hasn't touched the ball in like 5 minutes out there, when he came in, I don't know, midway through the third quarter. And I think he got a bucket right away. It just took far too long for that realization to take place. Maybe because young player, new player, but he had a layup early in the fourth quarter. When the Clippers were trying to get back into it, they were down 12 heading into the fourth. It was 95-83 after Amin Thompson hit another really critical, timely bucket. He had a lot of those against the Clippers. But then to start the fourth, KPJ had that bucket on Shepard. Miller missed a layup. Aaron Holiday threes. My goodness. He hit a ton of timely threes as well against the Clippers. Guys, Aaron Holiday off the bench went 3 of 6 from 3, and they were all really big shots, back-breaking type of shots, because the Clippers were trying to make a run early in that fourth quarter. He hits a 3. Miller then gets that layup I was talking about to make it 101-90 early fourth quarter. Holiday, another 3. I mean, 14-point lead for Houston. Bones hits a 3 on Shepard. Says he was too small guarding him. It's 104-93. Clippers get a stop. Bones would miss the next time against Shepard down. This was a team that was battling, that showed who they are out there at least. We talked about it post-game, but their identity remained intact. They're going to play hard. They didn't have the guys. They didn't have the horses. They didn't have, they might have been out-talented, but I wouldn't say they were outworked tonight. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll close things out. Clippers lose to the Houston Rockets here at Intuit Dome, 117-106. Clippers don't play again till Friday in Denver. Still looking for post-game quotes from the head coach. I'm Adam Moslin. This is Clippers Talk on AM 570 LA Sports. Trying to find some post-game quotes here coming out, guys. Okay. So Coach Lou's not sure how Amir Coffey and Derek Jones Jr. are doing after Coffey wasn't able to play tonight after getting injured in pregame warmups, and Derek Jones left the game after the first quarter. There's your update. Not much of one. He's not sure. Good news is 4 days off. Hopefully nothing serious. Please. Clippers have actually had... I shouldn't even say that. Why even bother arguing with Quentin, guys? He thought Ivica Zubac had like 10 turnovers tonight. He had 0. Appreciate you, Quentin, but come on, man. Why did they beat them on the offensive boards? Well, first of all, Quentin, do you know how many of those they got when Ivica Zubac was actually out there on the floor? No, you don't. Second of all, they have multiple guys going for those rebounds, and the Clippers have Big Zoo. Houston has a ton of athletes. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the league. Clippers lose to the Houston Rockets. Second straight loss here at Intuit Dome. This time they fall 117-106. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Let's not make a trend of this, Clipper Nation. They had lost 9 straight here at Intuit Dome. Now they've lost 2 straight. It's just their second game since Wednesday, and that 28-point loss to, that would be the Minnesota Timberwolves. As it was so long ago, I had trouble pulling up my memory, my memory bank there and remembering who it was. There are people in here who are trying to blame Ivica Zubac for everything, like actually making up stats, like he had a bunch of turnovers tonight when he didn't. They're saying it's his fault that the Houston Rockets are a great offensive rebounding team when they're the best offensive rebounding team in the league, and people just want to oversimplify like Quentin and say, this is the reason they lost. It's Visa Zubac's fault. He had all those turnovers. You look at the box score, he had 0. Well, what about the offensive rebounds he gave up? That's all on him. Houston had 12. The Clippers had 7 offensive rebounds. It's like, well, some of those were long boards off of missed three-pointers. Some of those were Ivica Zubac wasn't even out there on the court, yet you want to blame Ivica Zubac for the Houston Rockets getting offensive rebounds, which is what they do. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the league. Make it make sense, my guy, or don't, because you can't. Mark Jack said Jalen Green going for 31. Might be the most points they've given up to a single player. The defense has been that good this season. No, because they gave up 40 to Nikola Jokic in a loss for the Denver Nuggets. I think he had 41 that first game in Denver. Clippers will be in Denver on Friday. 6Ab said Houston crashes boards hard and a little bit of luck. No, Quentin, you just want to put it on one guy in Ivica Zubac, as Quentin says. Adam refuses to hold Big Zoo accountable. I get it, Adam. Ivica Zubac had, let's see here, 21 and 12 and 3 offensive rebounds. I'm not going to hold him accountable for offensive rebounds the Houston Rockets got when Ivica Zubac was not even on the court. Or like you could go back and actually watch the film and see if he was in the vicinity or should have gotten to some of those boards. It's just, it's so frustrating with some people. Mostly those that I'd call basketball casuals. But I'm not saying that about Quentin. Like, there are excuses and there are explanations for things. There's a difference. Some cannot see the nuance. They just want to reduce everything to, I don't like this player, so I'm going to blame him when things go wrong. I don't like to play that game, guys. I think the Clippers played with great effort and spirit out there tonight. They came up short as they were shorthanded. They lose this one to the Houston Rockets, 117 to 106. Leaving you until Friday. Not on the Clippers Talk YouTube side, of course. We do shows every day. But our next Clippers broadcast on the radio side on AM 570 LA Sports, the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. That will be Friday. Clippers in Denver taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off is at 6. We'll have your pregame show starting at 5. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until then. But I do want to thank, before we get out of here, Clippers organization, Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call. What else we got here? Big Brother Jake Warner, our head engineer. Katie Newton, our producer, back in the bank. Appreciate you, Katie. Until Friday, I'm Adam Oslin, Clippers in Denver. We'll talk to you then. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Maybe I'll do a Clippers talk after dark in like 30 minutes. Just so we can go through some of the post-game sound. Chat, Adam Samley. We'll talk to you in a little bit here.